This streamer doesn't know it, but he just lost 1.5 million Robux to this innocent looking game. And today we'll be looking into a bunch of Roblox games that actually stole people's Robux. And first, let's get back to that streamer who lost 1.5 million Robux to this game. As we can see here, the game was called Vibe Hotel and someone linked it to him on stream. And if you watch the clip, nothing's really going on. All he's doing is clicking continue in like this starting menu, but that's exactly what they want you to do, because this whole starting menu is actually a trick. Let me explain to you what's going on here. So basically what's going on is these games purposely make you click stuff, and as you guys can see, they're purposely centered to make you buy stuff. What happens is right when you join the game, they trigger a buy prompt, but then they cover over it with a menu screen, so then that way they can't actually see the buy prompt. And then they make a menu saying continue over the buy prompt. So when you think you're clicking continue, you're actually clicking buy, and that's how they scam you, because you don't actually see the buy prompt at all. You just think you're gonna click continue and then you're gonna get into the game. But right when you click continue, you've been scammed out all your Robux. It's a pretty insane scam and a pretty bad one on that, because most people don't even know what's going on. It looks like a super innocent game. You know, they steal a bunch of games, I think, too, to make it look believable. And then right when you click on one button, everything's gone. And this streamer here, Nuke, lost 1.5 million Robux because of this. And not just that, a lot of people probably lost money to this and be scammed of this, just falling for the same scam. And so obviously a pretty big problem. Now, luckily, the situation does have a good ending, because during this time, Nuke actually got in contact with Roblox, and the clip was kind of going viral, so he'd actually get his Robux back, which was pretty good. However, a lot of people have used this strategy and tactic to go after a lot of people who can't make as much noise in the community. So unfortunately, even though, you know, he got his 1.5 million Robux back, a lot of people who aren't as popular probably got scammed out of thousands and hundreds of Robux that they unfortunately probably couldn't get back. And with that being said, these scams are going around at a time where Roblox didn't have a purchase delay. Right now when you go to buy anything, you have to wait a little bit. There's like a little bit of a delay, and that's to try to prevent these scams and stuff like that. However, as I'm going to break down, this didn't really stop people at all from scamming. It only made them just think of new ideas. But before we break those down, let's look at some more crazy scams that stole people's Robux before this delay came out. Like one of the craziest ones being this, where people would make a game called How Many Times Could He Click? And all they had to do was click start over and over again. Seems harmless, just click a bunch of times, try to get a high score, you know, how can they steal Robux? However, how this game works is after about like a minute or so of clicking, they pop up buy prompt out of nowhere, and since you're already clicking on that start screen, people just end up buying the item. And it's actually been scamming a lot of people. And a few years ago, this was very viral on TikTok. A lot of people make clicker games, advertise them with a bunch of Robux, and right when people started clicking, they would lose all their Robux. It was a pretty insane scam. I'm not gonna lie, it was kind of smart, but it was obviously pretty bad, and a lot of people got scammed by this. But like I mentioned, this was before they added the delay, so it was a very easy scam to do and also to fall for. But now with the delay, it wouldn't work as much. But now with that being said, let's move to some more scams that happened after they added this delay. Because the delay seemed like it would fix a lot of things, but all it really did was make hackers just try harder and make some new ideas. Like firstly, Crossroads actually came back and stole a lot of Robux. If you guys remember, Crossroads was a very insane thing on Roblox. It was a Roblox game that if you joined, you would get banned. And then they also had like a new thing where if you joined it, they would trick you into saying a bunch of bad stuff. They're very like lucrative, and they had a bunch of loopholes and stuff like that to get people banned. And they came back one day to not just get people banned, but also to steal their Robux. And it was basically the same thing. As we can see in this video, you would join the game and give you like a menu, or it would say like your gameplay was paused. And it's completely fake. The gameplay is not paused or anything like that. It's a complete lie. And they hide that behind an actual buy prompt. So when people click around and stuff like that, then they get scammed and all their Robux is gone. And typically with these games, they also target a bunch of streamers and stuff like that, because in that way they know the exact amount of Robux they have and they can take every single Robux. That's kind of what happened in the first clip. I think they recognized that he had 1.5 million Robux and changed the buy prompt to 1.5 million so he can take everything. And the same thing happened here. This originally happened with a streamer and they took all his Robux, but then also with that, it leads to a bunch of people playing the game and also getting scammed themselves, but also this made people learn about the method and then scam more people. So it's pretty insane. These games are literally stealing millions of Robux from YouTubers and then probably thousands and hundreds of Robux from regular players. And sometimes the people do get their Robux back, but a lot of times in these situations, there's so much victims that they can't refund everyone. And unfortunately, it leads to a bunch of people just getting scammed and not getting anything back. But with that being said, let's move to our next scam and game, and this one's a bit crazier. So the first few games I showed you, the whole point of the game is you don't know you got scammed, and they try hiding, you know, you losing your Robux behind something. However, the next few games that I show you that steal Robux, don't try to hide it at all. In fact, they want you to spend your Robux. Let me break down what's going on here. So around a year ago, and even recently, there's been a big scam going around where people would make fake events. And what they would do in these fake events was they would advertise it as like a Roblox event. They would even steal, I think, proper Roblox events, and they advertise it like crazy and stuff like that. And then they would say in the game like, oh, there's a bunch of items here that if you buy it, they're gonna go limited. And then obviously a lot of little kids and regular players bought it thinking, oh, it's an official event, I'm gonna buy it. And then right when they went to buy it, not only would they get scammed because the item obviously was not going to go limited, but it didn't even end up being an item. It was just like a badge with the image of an item. So not only did they not get an item, but they also got scammed straight up and their Robux stolen. And these events are pretty insane because even though it seems obvious to us, these scams were huge, and literally these games sometimes had like a million visits of like fake free UGC and stuff like that, and these fake events fooled a lot of people, and thousands if not millions of Robux got stolen from these fake events because a lot of people didn't know any better. Everything looked legit about it, but it was a complete scam. But also with that being said, like I mentioned, that first one I showed you was kind of, it wasn't as believable, but some people made even more believable ones. Like for example, some people would recreate actual Roblox events, try scamming people. Like there was a whole innovation award thing going on, and this one is even crazier because the item they scammed people with was 1,000 Robux, and people ended up buying it because they thought it was the official Roblox Innovation Awards. And these scams have been super insane, and they scam so much Robux out of people and steal them. And in general so far, as we can see, there's a bunch of ways people steal Robux. The first few games that we noticed was people, hiding and stuff like that. And then that method kind of died out because I think Roblox kind of fixed it. So then people switched to just lying to people straight up and then making a fake event, stealing fake event games, try to make it as believable as possible, and then selling fake items that aren't even legit at all. There's game passes. And these Roblox games steal millions of Robux, and it gets worse from here. Because a lot of people thought these scams were fixed after a little bit, and people didn't even care anymore. Because after a little bit, a lot of people thought these scams were fixed. But then a few years later, they came back in the exact same thing. As we can see here, this person got scammed a few years later by the exact same thing. It was the exact same scam, and all their Robux was stolen. And a bit of this is actually Roblox's fault, because since these scams are so popular and so big, Roblox did actually come out and say that they fixed some of it sometimes, and they said that they're working on it. And sometimes these scams were actually fixed, like it wouldn't work anymore, but unfortunately, I guess Roblox didn't fix them properly because they're super easy to bypass, and people came back and did it again. And since it's been a few years and people thought Roblox fixed it, people didn't know any better, and then they got scammed again. And once again, they stole a bunch of Robux from people. And with that being said, let's go to our next game, which is another pretty insane way people steal Robux and a pretty insane scam on Roblox. So just for some context, if you guys aren't aware, the person who made Please Donate has done actual free Robux games in the past. He's done like a dice game, which if you roll your dice, it multiplies your Robux, and then he also done like a free hobby. And these games are only around for like 24 hours. It was like a quick thing, join it, get free Robux, and then that's it. And also how it worked is you wouldn't just get the Robux, he wouldn't like donate the Robux to you directly. How it would work was he made a separate website for this called Hasm.gg, and in that he made custom made codes, and those codes actually gave you Robux. Like he offline donated to you, I think, and Please Donate through his alt account. It was a pretty insane system and a pretty good one, He was giving away free Robux to the community, but unfortunately, Roblox actually shut down this whole system because he said that he was doing it off platform and he wasn't allowed to give away these codes anymore. However, a lot of people don't know about that story, and there's a bunch of these fake scam games out there from people pretending to be Hasm that are scamming people and stealing people's Robux like crazy. As we can see in this video, people made like a fake dice game which stole the entire dice game. Like that's exactly how it looked. But then they had their own buy prompts saying, oh, skip the timer, spend some Robux, and we'll give you more Robux. And people fall for this because they think it's Hasm, They think they can trust him. But it's just like a fake game and an entirely big scam, and it steals people Robux. And to make it worse, as we can see in this video, they have like a Discord bot showing how much people bought this, and there's so much people who buy this. It's literally insane. And I think it shows you how bad these scams are. Because to us it seems obvious, but to a lot of little kids and people who don't know any better, they fall for it. And a lot of people get their Robux stolen in many ways. Either the first way that I mentioned of it being hidden, the second way of it being a fake event, or this way of it being a fake Hasm free Roblox game. So far we've broken down all the Roblox games that actually stole people's Robux, but sometimes it's not the games that actually do it. A lot of times popular Roblox extensions can actually steal people's Robux. And there's been a big thing on Roblox over these past few years where a lot of extensions actually steal people's Robux. And what they would do was they would actually advertise these extensions on the Roblox platform. So people would go to it, download it and stuff like that, think it's fine, and then their entire Robux would be stolen because there's a malicious extension. Like it would hack your account, stuff like that. And through these extensions, we've seen people get their Robux stolen, we've seen people get their limited stolen, and it's very dangerous. And they're still going around to this day. So be very careful what extensions you get. And in general, with that being said, a lot of Roblox games have stolen Robux in the past. Like I showed you, they hide it behind the screen so people don't even realize, or they make an entirely fake event and then steal people's Robux, or maybe it's like a fake Hasm scam game, or maybe like a fake clicker game. But there's been a bunch of games out there that steal people's Robux, and like I showed you, millions of Robux have been stolen because of this. It's pretty insane to see. But with that being said, if you enjoyed, check out the video to find out why no one's playing these Roblox games, or check out this video to find out how Roblox YouTubers fully disappeared. That's the next one.